Note, this is meant to be played in the background while you do other things. Also, do not go and harass Doros. I'm simply making fun of a bad old creepypasta. Do not harass the person who wrote it. I'm just making fun of grammar and writing inconsistencies. Hello! Welcome back. Today, well, I've been on a bit of a creepypasta kick lately, so I figured, why not read one? But there are so many readings of Jeff the Killer and the like. I figured, why not do one with very few readings? Today, we are reading the, I think, original, but at least most famous Jeff the Killer versus Jane the Killer. Otherwise known by its proper name, Jeff versus Jane. By M. Doros. M-Doros. Without further ado, my blind reading of Jeff versus Jane. It was a cold, calm winter night with a few snowflakes descending quietly to the concrete ground. Okay, first off, I need to get this out of the way. Jane the Killer should definitely win because she's fucking Wolverine. I don't know if you know this, but in the Jane the Killer story, she has a fucking healing factor, or at least in the Born of Science one. I think that's the main one. Anyway, resuming. The empty, dreary streets were illuminated by the orange streetlights, giving the feeling of loneliness. Jeff walked down a desolate street of a sleeping town, one he had not visited before. Despite his different physiology, Jeff couldn't help but shiver. The cold was getting to him. All he could do to keep himself warm was to put the hood over his head and hide his hands in his pockets. He had no plan on where to go or what to do. All he could think about was that sooner he would get to kill someone, the better the night would be. The sooner he would get to kill someone, the better the night would be. Sorry, that's not the story being bad, that's me being bad at reading. His hatred for life itself was the only thing that kept him going. It was one of the reasons why he had come back stronger than ever. He walked along the sidewalk past a bus stop and walked next to an old convenience store where a pair of dusty payphones were lined along the wall. Jeff paid no mind to them at first, but he couldn't help but wonder why they were still around anymore, with mobile phones being all the rage nowadays. As he walked past them, he heard a loud ringing sound. Jeff turned his head to see where the noise was coming from. To his surprise, he realized that the noise was coming from one of the payphones. Oh, well, that's a classic trope. That's a classic trope if I've ever seen one. The whole walking past like a phone booth or payphones, phone starts ringing. Yeah. All the rage in spy movies. Not sure, or action movies. Not sure what it's doing in Jeff versus Jane. Curious, he walked over to the telephone, and as soon as he picked up the handset, the noise stopped. That's typically how answering the phone works. You pick it up, the ringing stops. Can you imagine holding a whole conversation, but it's like the phone is still ringing? So it's like, hey, man, how's it going? It's going good, man. Hey, what the hell is that noise? Oh, that's just my phone ringing. What? Yeah, you called me. My phone's ringing now. Dude, that should stop. Nah, man. Anyway, back to the story. When he answered, he couldn't help but fantasize about tracking down the person on the other end and ripping their guts out. Jeff, calm yourself. He put the phone up to his ear but said nothing. He heard nothing but the generic background noise of a phone. So, like, are they talking about, like, the staticky, like, silent hiss? Or just, like, normal, like, city noises? Or, like, normal area noises? Because those aren't generic background noises of a phone. Those are generic background noise of an area. Whoever was on the other side had yet to speak. And after a moment of silence, Jeff finally broke the silence. Get this kid a thesaurus. Man, what kind of voice do I do for Jeff? Hello? As soon as he answered, an unfamiliar woman's voice finally replied, Hello, Jeff. No, that's not. What if I just make Jane the Killer sound like a British gangster? Do those even exist? Are there British gangsters? Hello, Jeff. Are you enjoying your visit? Jeff was surprised. He knew for sure no one knew he would come here. Whoever this woman was, she must have been watching him, and he didn't like it one bit. Who is this? Jeff asked. A hunter, just like you. Oh, shut the fuck up, Jane. But you're the only animal I'm after. Not true, Jane. You kill a whole bunch of other people. You were almost as much of a killer as Jeff himself. Although, to be fair to Jane, friggin' everybody she kills, she imagines is Jeff, which is so fucking stupid. Also, in the original story, I think the only thing of significance she does other than become fucking Wolverine is make pomegranate syrup. I am referring to the Born of Science one, because that's the only one I've read. But it took me months to find you, but I have you in my sights. By answering this phone, you've sealed your fate. Spare me the bullshit and answer my question. You really want to know? I'll give you a hint. You killed my mom and dad. I'm just picturing Jeff acting like Darth Vader in the comics when Luke's like, you killed my father. I've killed a lot of fathers. You'll have to be more specific. That's what I'm picturing. You killed my mom and dad. Does not narrow it down. Jeff briefly stood silent and pondered, thinking about how many moms and dad he had killed. He let out a small scoff of annoyance, since he wasn't impressed by the woman's reason. So I won't get a direct answer then. What makes you think you're so special? Because I'm fucking Wolverine. Not because I'm fucking Wolverine, but because I'm fucking Wolverine. Like, comma, fucking, comma. Not just, God, not side detail, but fuck it. Shit. Let's forget this happened. I'm the person who can end your miserable existence. I'm gonna make your final moments as painful and terrible as possible. I've probably changed Jane's voice, but I don't care. It will change in the future. I can't keep a consistent woman's voice. Good luck with that. Worse people tried to end me and they all failed miserably. You're nothing compared to them. I wouldn't think so. I'm fucking Wolverine. I wouldn't think so. I know what you are, Jeff, and I have the right tools for the occasion. Same shit you use. A kitchen knife. Ooh, I'm shaking in my boots. You're all tough shit. Why don't you end me right now? I want you to feel like a scared little boy again before this is all over. Again, does she know Jeff's origin? Okay, you know this is this is like a 15-year-old burn victim, and you're fucking Wolverine. I'm gonna stop putting the fucking before Wolverine, because that makes it sound a little odd. And you're Wolverine. I'm gonna take my time with you and savor every moment of this night. At least take him out to dinner first. Jeff stood silent, unimpressed and unmoving, and even with the grin carved into his face, he didn't even try to smirk. Okay. Make sense, please? Don't make promises you can't keep. And with that, Jeff hung up the phone and walked away. He didn't care whether he met the woman or not, but he wouldn't mind if he had the chance to kill her. He walked across the town, and strangely, he didn't see a single person the entire time. The streets were completely deserted. Eventually, he found himself in a decrepit neighborhood close to an old industrial park. The lights were dim, but they allowed Jeff to see just fine. He was confused that he didn't see a single living thing the entire time, but eventually, the confusion would come to an end. As he walked around the corner, he noticed something that caught his attention. He saw someone standing at the far end of the street with their back turned. Jeff's grip on the knife he kept in his jacket tightened, and his bored trance was broken. Okay, I'm just picturing, like, he's wearing this typical white hoodie. Does he, like, keep it on the inside? Does he keep it in the pockets? Are his hands in his pockets and he's, like, clutching the knife in his pockets? Or is it, like, inside the hoodie and he's just, like, grabbing what appears to be, like, his side, like, aggressively? Or is he, like, wearing a second jacket? Just picturing Jeff the Killer, but, like, he's really cold, so he wears, like, a big poofy jacket. Finally, he whispered. He silently stepped towards the unmoving person and slowly pulled the knife out of his pocket. As he drew closer, he noticed that his soon-to-be victim was a woman dressed in black with long, wavy dark hair. He assumed that she would be easy prey. Jeff, please, I'm begging. Notice that she fucking is pale fucking white. When he was just a few yards away, she walked towards the end of the street and went around the corner, out of Jeff's sight. Jeff's smile faltered. Impossible. It's permanent. Jeff's smile faltered a little, but he was excited at the thought of shedding blood again. When he walked around the corner again, he noticed something unusual. The woman was in the middle of a much longer sidewalk. Jeff hadn't seen her for at least a few seconds, meaning that the woman had moved fast. I'm just picturing, like, Jane the Killer, like leading Jeff on. Like, she turns a corner, and immediately when she's out of Jeff's sight, she, like, breaks into a dead sprint so that she'll be somewhere else in order to spook him. Jeff let out a quiet sigh of annoyance, but he became frustrated when the woman crossed the street and walked into a dark alleyway. Jeff's pace quickened as he followed her. Jeff, don't you think you're making yourself a little obvious? You're, like, running after this woman. He stepped through the darkness and headed for the other side. As soon as he went through the alleyway, he found himself near a rotten fence, heading for what appeared to be a warehouse. Oh god, are they gonna have a climactic warehouse battle? God fucking damn it. Perfect for action movies. What is it doing in Jeff versus Jane? This story. I feel like this person forgot who Jeff and Jane were. He looked around, but there was no sign of the woman. Jeff threw his hands up in frustration, and his mood was spoiled. Before he could do anything else, he heard a familiar voice from behind him. Hello, Jeff. Did you enjoy stalking me? Oh my god. government-created Wolverine is going to now kill a 15-year-old burn victim who went crazy. It took him a second to recognize the voice. Wait, hang on, who the hell? Oh, you're the phone lady. It took him a second to recognize the voice. It was the woman on the phone. Jeff quickly turned around and saw the lady he followed, facing him. Sure enough, she was dressed all in black to contrast her pale skin and dark eyes. Her eyes are pitch black, by the way. So describing them as dark is not only a bit of an understatement, but dark clothing will not contrast. Black clothing and black eyes are actually not gonna contrast very well, considering they're the same fucking color. The first thing that caught his attention was the pistol. She's got a fucking gun. Oh my god. I've got the perfect tools for the job. See, while everyone else has fought you on even footing with a knife, I've brought a fucking gun. Even though he didn't expect such a thing, Jeff was not shocked or scared by this. He let out a smug smile and laughed. Like I said, you're not special. Go ahead, see what it does to you. See what good it does you. All right, the woman smiled, and with that, she pulled the trigger, firing a bullet into Jeff's left side of the abdomen. I thought she was gonna, shoot him in the head. Jane, you want to kill this guy, right? You don't want to just cause him mild pain. Also, there's no way Jeff's walking out of this alive. Unlike Jane, he does not have a fucking healing factor, unless he does in this story is taken from a different canon. This is from the Jeff the Killer one-on-one canon and the Homicidal Lou canon. So if Jeff becomes Sabretooth, who is a Wolverine enemy. Education for you that you probably knew. At first, he flinched in pain, and to Jeff's expectation, that pain was brief and quickly subsided. However, in a few short seconds, the pain had become unbearable. So, it hurts, stops hurting, and then it hurts again, way more. Bet you it's gonna stop hurting and hurt 7,000 times more. And he almost collapsed to his knees. It felt like the bullet was burning his flesh from the inside. Jeff held his side and winced, trying his best not to make a sound or cry out. He looked up at the woman, giving him a satisfied smirk. He was saying? She spoke in a condescending tone before pointing the gun at Jeff again. Jeff knew he stood no chance, so he shakily turned around and squeezed through the fence before... You've got a gun, lady. Shoot him. Jane, shoot him. Don't let him climb through the fence and stagger away. Shoot him. There's a big enough hole for him to squeeze through. There's a big enough hole for you to shoot him. The woman let out an amused chuckle as she fired the gun once more. When she missed, God fucking damn it, Jeff fled. As the woman's annoyed grunt echoed behind him, Jeff ran through the area, looking for a place to hide. As he stumbled around, he picked the most secluded warehouse and ran inside. It's just like a block of old abandoned warehouses. As soon as he entered, he hid in the shadows and breathed heavily. The cold and the pain almost made his body feel numb, but he was still conscious. He realized that the bullet he took was not ordinary. Yeah, no shit. He'd been shot many times before, but he had never felt such searing pain. Whatever the bullet was made out of, it had a devastating effect on his body. Also, apparently Jeff has a unique physiology. I haven't read the Homicidal Lou or Jeff one-on-one stories. By that does it mean he's fucking immortal? Because how has he been shot a bunch and is still alive? When he got his breath under control, he lifted up his dirty hoodie and looked at his new wound. With no other option, Jeff dug into the hole with 2 fingers and looked at the bullet, looked for the bullet, causing more blood to gush out. After a while, Jeff finally found the bullet and took it out, causing the pain to subside considerably. The wound would heal soon enough. Before he could examine the bullet, though, he dropped it in pain as if his fingertips were burned. Jeff used his sleeve to pick it up and clean it. Even in the darkness, Jeff could still see what was up with the bullet. It was made of something shinier and lighter than lead. Maybe that woman was right. She really was the only one who could kill him, and if she could, then she was his most dangerous enemy. I'm not sure if she's government-backed, or if she's, or if she just has this bullet. Because if she's government-backed, this is hilarious, because the government is sending Wolverine after a 15-year-old burn victim. Maybe he's older in the story, I don't fucking know. I've already lost my patience. Before Jeff could ponder further, he heard distant footsteps getting closer to the other entrance of the warehouse. He hid in the shadows and waited to see who was approaching him. He gripped his knife, and this time he was sure that the woman was coming for him. The footsteps became louder, and the source was coming closer. As Jeff got ready to ambush the intruder, he saw something surprising again. Whoever entered the warehouse was not the lady chasing him. Instead, he saw the silhouette of a lanky man wearing what appeared to be a top coat and scarf around his neck. He was muttering quietly as if he was talking to himself. Sometimes he sounded meek and shy, but other times he seemed angry and unhinged. At first, Jeff thought that man was working with the lady, but soon all he cared about was killing him. Okay, that's not gonna say that's a good choice, but for Jeff, that is a good choice. Whether he's working with Jane or not, because, oh yeah, spoiler alert, this lady is Jane. Sorry, hope you weren't like waiting for the big twist. When the man walked past him, Jeff stepped out of the darkness and snuck behind the man. He followed him as slowly and quietly as possible, but soon he ran straight at him at full speed. The meth? God, I can't fucking speak. The man turned around quickly before he was tackled to the floor. Jeff couldn't see the person's face very well, but he looked surprised and scared. He furiously wrapped his hands around the man's throat, making him struggle to free himself. You've got a fucking knife. Stab him. Making him struggle to free himself. The stranger's eyes rolled to the back of his head, and his worried look was replaced by a look of pure rage. As the two struggled, the man managed to kick Jeff off, sending him a few feet away. As the two got up, Jeff could finally see the man clearly. His face was covered in cuts in various lengths and sizes. This is not the story being bad, this is me being bad at reading. But then, to his shock, Jeff realized that there was more to the man than he initially thought. That hair, that face, the tone. This man hasn't spoken to Jeff. What tone? The tone he grunted at you with as you were strangling him? Hang on, I recognize that strangled noise. Jeff calmed down. His fury died down just long enough to talk to the man. Lou? He called quietly. Lou maintained his enraged expression for a second, but when he heard his own name, he closed his eyes, shook his head, and the fury was replaced by amazement. This is Lou, guys. This is homicidal Lou. Great, they can team up and kill Jane. They're both regular guys, and Jane is Wolverine. But they've got this. Jane has bullets that can that hurt way, way more than regular bullets, but don't worry. These guys, Jeff and Lou, have got it. What voice do I give Lou? Jeff. Yeah, I like this. This is Lou's voice. Jeff. The two brothers got up and observed each other closely. It had been years, and they barely looked recognizable since the last they saw each other. Okay, now last time Lou saw Jeff, at least in the original story, Jeff was gutting him alive, and he looked very much the same. Don't know if there's a different canon going on in the one-on-one universe, or well, there must be, because Lou's not fucking immortal, right? If he is, you got your shot, Jeff. Make these two invincible beings fight each other for eternity, while you just kind of sit back and watch, Jeff. You got an out. What happened to you? Jeff asked, looking at Lou's scars. What happened? What happened? God damn it, I forgot what voice I did for Lou. What happened? Lou stopped for a second before pointing at his brother. I thought you were dead. No, I need to have a bit more emotion. I thought you were dead. There we go. Who says I'm not dead? He replied. I thought you went to prison. Okay, so they're... I didn't go to prison, Jeff, Lou corrected. He sounded calm at first, but he briefly winced. His voice became raspier, and a toothy frown formed on his face. I've heard of a toothy grin. I know what those look like. Toothy frown? But we were in hell. Lou shook his head and spoke normally. Keep it down, you're not helping. Jeff was confused by his brother's strange behavior, but he knew that Lou was the only one who could help him get rid of that woman that kept chasing him. What are you doing here? Why so serious? What are you doing here? Jeff asked. Wait, I tried to find you. I wanted to rebuild my life, but it looks like the world has other plans. And I found out you were still out there. I almost thought I got involved in a wild goose chase. How did you find me? Why so serious? How did you find me? I followed someone who's looking for you. You're talking about her, aren't you? This is crazy gothic bitch that keeps chasing me. Dude, I don't know what to say, man. This is a crazy goth chick that keeps chasing me. Man, I thought she was, into me, but nope, she shot me in the fucking stomach. That's Jane, Lou responded with a hint of disgust in his voice. You know who this is, Lou? When he spoke again, his raspy voice and the hateful glare returned, looking in another direction. And she annoys me so... Whoops, that's the Jeff voice. Lou's voice is different. And she annoys me so goddamn much. You know her? Before Lou could answer the question, the two brothers fell silent when they heard distant footsteps near the warehouse. You guys, 2-on-1, average dudes versus Wolverine, you got this. Lou's expression... Whoops. I lost my spot. Lou's expression changed as he moved closer. There's no time. Come on, I know a place where he can hide. Lou snuck out of the warehouse and Jeff followed him as quietly as possible. They tried their best not to get caught by Jane or alert her. With great care, they snuck back to the urban zone. Sonic! Now I'm picturing like a Sonic the Hedgehog style. Sonic the Hedgehog style God fucking damn it. A Sonic the Hedgehog style Jeff the Killer game where you just go around killing people, and it's got urban zone, warehouse zone. They snuck back to the urban zone, and after about half an hour, the two brothers made it to the nearest suburb. They walked through the dark neighborhood for a while until Lou walked up to the porch of a specific house. On the outside, it looked well maintained, but even in the distance, Jeff could tell that there was something wrong with the front door. It's like upside down. The doorknob is on the side of the hinges. I don't know, man. There's just something about your front door that rubs me the wrong way. I'm gonna stab it to death. Jeff stood at the gate in confusion when he realized that his brother did not hesitate. Lou looked back and saw that Jeff was not following him. He was worried that he had become suspicious. It's all right. The owners are not home. No, that's my Jeff voice. I keep accidentally putting that extra flair. It's all right. The owners are not home. Jeff looked in every single direction, making sure that no one saw him, especially Jane. When he made sure the coast was clear, Jeff walked up to the porch and Lou walked further inside. Jeff finally noticed what was wrong with the door. The lock was busted as if Lou had kicked the door open. Jeff smiled, remembering the many times he had to kick down a door to get to his victim. Dude, what is wrong with the person who wrote this? Okay, I know. Writing a psychopath doesn't make you a psychopath. But, like, I'm not saying they're a psychopath. I'm just asking, why? Why would you write this? He entered the house where Lou was expecting him. Even in the darkness, he could still see that the interior was well preserved. Stop using well preserved, well maintained. Looked nice. I got inside some time ago to get food before going out there to find you. All right, Jeff began. What do we do now? We need to take Jane out of the picture. She's too dangerous to let her walk around much longer. How are we gonna do that? As Jeff finished talking, Lou closed his eyes and groaned quietly again. When he had opened his eyes, his raspy voice returned and flashed a grin so wide and twisted that even Jeff was disturbed by it. I have a solution. They're both fucking Joker. They're two different interpretations of Joker. One is Heath Ledger, one is a different Joker. God, I can't think of a Joker off the top of my head. It didn't take long for Jeff to... Speech. It didn't take long for Jane to track down Jeff again. Part of her felt amused that Jeff ended up trapping himself inside a small house. But another part was worried when she saw the lock, fearing that Jeff had broken in and killed the owners. Don't worry, they're not home. You don't need to worry, Jane. They're not home. Lou said they're not home. And a guy named Homicidal Lou definitely did not kill them and hide the bodies. They're just not home. You don't need to worry, Jane. You stared at the home for a moment and took a deep breath. In her arrogance and confidence, she let Jeff get away. But now, she wasn't gonna hold anything back. I'm not holding anything back. Wait, no, I've got to do it in the Jane voice. I'm not holding anything back anymore. With the gun still in her hand, Jane made her way to the door and opened it slowly, trying to make as little noise as possible. She pointed her gun in every direction as she searched the entire first floor. He's on the ceiling. He's in the walls. He's in the goddamn walls. She checked every nook and cranny, but she did not see anyone. She went up the stairs quietly, making sure to not make the boards creak. She checked the bathroom, the laundry room, and the kids' room. There wasn't a single sign of Jeff anywhere. Even the master bedroom was empty. Jane was absolutely sure that Jeff was in the house, but seeing that her theory was wrong made her feel disappointed. She lowered the pistol, turned around, and began to leave. Just as she stepped into the doorway, a fist suddenly hit her in the face, knocking her down onto her back and dropping the gun. Yes, the fist is the one who dropped the gun. I mean, to be fair, I'd probably drop a gun if, I was punched in the face. But Jane, you can't have, that gun, it has, one of the few things that can hurt the guy you're trying to murder. I'm not on anyone's side. I'm on the side of common sense. I guess I am on a side then. Fuck. I'm on the side of good writing and common sense. Dizzy and disoriented, Jane looked up to see Jeff stepping into the room, but her vision was blurred and the sounds were muffled. He cracked his knuckles with a satisfied... Did he knock her? Is she gonna, fall unconscious because of how hard Jeff hit her? I mean, I believe it. In the original story, he punches someone so hard that their heart stops. He cracked his knuckles with a satisfied grin on his face, this smug bastard. Wow, that was so much easier than I thought. As soon as Jane regained her vision, Jeff got on top of her and started choking. It's nice that he waited for her to regain her vision. He's like, hey, I know I knocked the lights out of you. I know I knocked you dizzy. Punched you so hard that you are currently experiencing some kind of crisis in your brain. But, here, I'll wait. I'll wait before I start killing you. Jeff got on top of her and started choking her. Jane panicked and tried to get Jeff's hands away from her, but Jeff was relentless. Yeah, that's the one advantage Jeff has over you, Janie. Super strength. It's not gonna do much against your goddamn healing factor, Wolverine, but he's got I don't want to say he's got a shot. Okay, let's all be honest with ourselves. Jane should win this fight on account of the healing factor, but Jeff is probably going to win the fight on account of he's more famous. As she felt the air being squeezed out of her lungs, Jane reached from her back and pulled out a shiny, dagger-like blade, quickly jamming it into Jeff's side. As soon as the blade dug into Jeff's body, he stopped and started to convulse. Jeff, you've been stabbed one time by this lady. You were shot prior with a bullet that causes pain. Didn't see you convulsing them. God damn. She toppled him over, and Jeff started to grunt. As Jane got up and caught her breath, Jeff retched and coughed up blood. The blade, just like the bullet, just like the bullet from earlier, gave him the sensation that his side was on fire. Whatever the blade was made of, it made Jeff much weaker. Holy shit! What is this thing? Jane got up and pointed the blade at Jeff, who scuffled up to the wall behind him. An alloy that contained silver. Fuck! God damn it! He's a fucking werewolf. Or a vampire. Silver sometimes works on vampires. God fucking damn it. An alloy that contains silver. It wreaks havoc on monsters like you. She sat in front of him, grabbing him by the head with one hand and holding the blade in the other. She forced him to look her in the eyes. Want to see me do it again? Okay, Quickster. Want to see me stab you on the side? Want to see me do it again? She asked mockingly. Without another word, she plunged the blade repeatedly into Jeff's non-vital area. Stab this guy in the throat. You're giving him an opportunity to build up the most powerful weapon in history. His plot armor. Not quite on par with Batman's, but he's close. And this is the second time I've compared Jeff versus Jane to a DC or Marvel comic book. God damn it. Repeatedly into Jeff's non-vital areas, making him scream in pain with each thrust. At first, Jane seemed satisfied with what she was doing, but slowly she became more aggressive and much, much angrier. When Jane was to the point of screaming and finishing Jeff off, she felt a hand grabbing her by the shoulder. She got pulled away from Jeff and turned around, only to be punched towards the door and dropped the blade. Fuck. Lou, now was the time you step in. Your brother was getting fucking stabbed to death. Don't care if it was non-vital areas. He was gonna bleed the hell out. As she tried to get up, she was shocked to see Lou standing over her. His fists were clenched. He bared his teeth at her. Lou? Well, you know Lou? You made a huge mistake, Jane. You have the gall to inconvenience me? He sneered, but then he clutched his head in pain and spoke in his normal, upset tone. I kind of want to give him two voices because it said that he switches between raspy and normal. But I'm gonna stick with just giving him the raspy voice. Not quite, Jeff, but close. And now you dare to hurt my brother? He closed his eyes again, and he became manic once again. Does he have DID? I'm not familiar with the homicidal Lou lore. Does he have DID? He grinned and laughed as he grabbed Jane by the collar. Now I'm gonna fuck you up! With all of his might, Lou pushed Jane out of the room and into the hall. I'm gonna fuck you up! Shove. God damn it. There's a dagger and a gun on the floor, Lou. Maybe use one of those. Also, how is Jane being beaten by these two? They're just guys, and according to Born of Science, Jane knows fucking kung fu. They wrestled back and forth. Lou was wild, ferocious, and did not pull any punches. All Jane could do was defend herself and avoid his blows. They knocked the furniture over, busted the wall, and injured each other. Oh yes, that is clearly that should be the one at the end, because that is the most important. Yeah, they knocked furniture over, busted a wall, and injured each other. The injuries are the most important, most intriguing part of that sentence. Eventually, Jane kicked Lou back into the master bedroom, making him fall back. Gio looked to his right and saw Jane's pistol close by. Finally, Jane noticed it too. The two rushed over to the weapon, but Lou managed to get his hands on it first. Once he got the weapon, he pointed the barrel at Jane and slowly stood up, causing Jane to stop and put her hands up. I told you, I'll mount your head on a wall, Jane growled. Out of my way, Lou, Jane demanded. Jeff is mine. Oh, okay, so he does have DID. I'm reading the next sentence. I'm not Lou, I'm Sully, he said, frustrated. At first, Jane paused in confusion, but after a moment, she nodded understandingly. I see. Well, does Lou know that by saving Jeff, you'll help him destroy everything he's ever known? Okay, so he's got DID, and Jane is taking advantage of that, like the, how did Jeff phrase it? Gothic bitch that she is. Lou, he began, his voice shifting quickly. Okay, so he does have DID. I should be using two voices. So, Sully is growling. He's got the raspy, he's got this voice. And Lou's voice, it should be more like this, I think. Nope, I'm not doing that. It sounds so fucking stupid, and it makes me want to rip both my eyes and ears out. You hurt my brother. He cares about me. You used me. So he told me so. He protects me. He made me strong. Everyone is afraid of me. No one loves me. Holy shit. I've got a bit of a sore throat. I should not be doing this. Lou grew more and more distressed. He lowered the gun as he clutched his hand. God fucking damn it. Lou, shoot Jane in the head. It won't do much. She's fucking invincible, but... Without wasting any more time, Jane grabbed the pistol and pushed Lou to the other side. Jane, you've got a pistol. No need to push him. You could shoot him. Unintentionally sending him to the open window, Lou tripped out the window, but he held onto the windowsill, preventing his fall. Dude, at first, Jane thought about saving Lou. Why? Why Lou? Are they fucking? At first, Jane thought about saving Lou, but she noticed another cause for concern. Jeff was now standing up, full of bloody holes, looking barely alive. Even with that grin carved into his cheeks, Jane could tell he was absolutely furious. With a shaky breath, Jeff reached his hand into his pocket and pulled out the knife he so impatiently wanted to use. It's a two-story drop. You've been shot and stabbed several times. You can make it. Jump out the window. Jeff, do not continue engaging. Wait for yourself to heal up. Jeff screamed and lunged at Jane, giving her no time to fire the pistol. As they wrestled, they ended up leaving the room once again. God damn it. Stick to one room. Jeff managed to cut Jane on a few parts of her body, while she repeatedly tried to push him off far enough to aim the gun at him. To no avail. The next sentence after repeatedly tried to... Jeff managed to cut Jane on a few parts of her body while she repeatedly tried to push him off far enough to aim the gun at him. To no avail. Yeah, it's... Jeff's unrelenting strikes prevented her from fighting back. Finally, the two got to the top of the stairs. Jeff gave her one more punch to the nose, letting out a loud crack. Before Jane stumbled, she finally pointed the barrel toward Jeff, and as she fell, she finally pulled the trigger. Everything happened so fast. Jeff was hit in the right side of his ribs. The bullet went straight through his body, making him recoil and fall again. Jane fell down the stairs. And when she crashed onto the final step, she felt her shin break like a twig, making her to let out a brief scream of pain. Jane, you are perfectly fine. It hurts, but just, set the bone, and you'll be fine. You're making a big deal out of all these cuts and broken bone, but, Jane has a fucking healing factor. She should not... This is not a close fight. After lying on the floor for a minute, Jeff weakly got up and tried his best to get back on his feet. Yeah, your brother's still dangling out a window. Unless he is like manages to pull himself back up while you two are fighting. You should really, really help Lou. You guys work together, kill Jane. You know. His legs shook as he stood up and put a hand on the wall to keep himself upright. Once he caught his breath, he stood straight and looked at the bottom of the stairs, staring at a disheveled and badly injured Jane from above. Yeah, but she can fucking heal this. This is nothing. In the Born of Science creepypasta, she was shot. Are they using a different Jane who doesn't have a healing factor? Because in the Born of Science one, she can, like, she gets shot like 12 times and the wounds just instantly heal up. Also, she's got purple blood because her blood was all, I shit you not, all removed and replaced with a fluid called liquid hate. At least in the Born of Science one. And that's why she's Jane. Upon seeing her broken leg, Jeff smirked and was ready to descend the stairs to finish her off. But Jane reacted quickly, pointing the pistol at Jeff and causing him to stop dead in his tracks. Caught by surprise, Jeff walked back up before Jane could fire. He taking these stairs 2 at a time? Because it says that he walks back up. Once Jeff was out of sight, Jane let out an angry, frustrated yell. Since the only way out of the house was too dangerous, he decided to escape through one of the windows. He got into the master bedroom one last time, and when he got over to the window, he looked down to see Lou holding onto the ledge for dear life. Lou looked up to see his brother lording over him. Jeff didn't seem concerned, but a bit conflicted. "Jeff, please pull me up. I'm slipping," he begged. Jeff didn't say anything. He fell silent for a moment, thinking. He yelled again to be pulled the hell up, but what he got instead was the last thing he wanted to hear. "Sorry, Lou, but this is where we part ways." Dude, this is your brother? He helped you fight crazy goth bitch trying to kill you. The least you can do is pull him up. "Unfortunately, I can't have you around anymore. You and your little friend in your head are too much of a liability. Plus, I have my own goal." Holy shit. Yeah. "Plus, I have my own goals to accomplish. And what'll happen soon is gonna be, well, let's just say I hope you won't be around to see it. Goodbye, brother." And with that said, Jeff quickly left the room to look for another window. Hold up, I gotta blow my nose. As Jeff left the house, Lou kept screaming at him to come back. "Jeff! Jeff, where the hell are you going? Jeff!" can't get over how this guy is one of the most famous Creepypasta characters. And his name is Jeff. When Lou was sure that his brother was gone, his hands finally slipped. His scream of fear and betrayal was cut short when he fell onto a large bush. The fall may have been softened, but it was not without injuries. He just lay there, silent but conscious, letting the pain become more tolerable. Eventually, he turned over and fell flat on his stomach. At first, he cried out of emotional and physical pain. As he spoke, his voice turned monstrous once again. Why? Why does everyone leave? Dr. Nelson failed me. Susan failed me. You failed me. With a sharp inhale, Sully got up, taking in all the pain. Eventually, he managed to stand up, but put a hand on his back. I'll kill them both, and this time, I won't let you hold me back again. Okay, so this is Sully. Sully? He took a deep breath and limped away from the yard, breathing heavily from the pain, the cold, and the newfound hatred in his heart. With every move she made, Jane could not help but wince. With all the cuts and her broken nose and leg, all she could do was lie there, taking quick breaths. God damn it. Jane, you've got a fucking healing factor. At least in Born of Science. Is this not Born of Science, Jane? I'm gonna feel like a fucking idiot if this isn't Born of Science, Jane. Once able to move again, she reached into her bag and pulled up what appeared to be a small radio. She pressed the button and spoke clearly. This is Richardson. I need assistance at 322 Wilshire Street. The target escaped and my leg is busted. 10-4. Jane, you've got a fucking healing factor. The government gave you a healing factor when they replaced your blood with liquid hate. You are, Jane, you've fucking died before and come back because of the liquid hate. Born of Science. Jane put the radio down and waited impatiently for help to arrive. The pain was almost unbearable, and the frustration was taking a toll on her. After 15 minutes, she heard a car pull up to the front of the house and heard multiple doors practically opening in unison. A handful of people got inside the house and quickly found Jane at the bottom of the stairs. 2 of those people stayed behind, while the others carried Jane to a large vehicle. She's got fucking government backing. Meanwhile, Jeff's just a guy, a burn victim who's kind of psycho in the head, but a guy nonetheless. She was carried to the back of the vehicle and was carefully placed on a gurney. Once inside, Jane looked over to the right and saw a blonde woman in a suit sitting next to her. She looked shocked and worried to see Jane like this. Hey, Mary, Jane greeted. Jesus, Jane, Mary exclaimed. What happened to you? I found Jeff, but he wasn't alone. Lou was there too, Jane explained as the men patched her up. Lou was in his brother? No, Mary. Lou was in... Loser. Ah! Sorry, I was possessed by the spirit of evil SpongeBob there. Yep, that loon must have followed us, and I was this close to winning. Oh God, this is worse than I thought. Don't worry, love. Love spelled like the British. Don't worry, love. Also, yes, Jane is lesbian. Another thing you learn in Born of Science. At least they're getting some parts right. Or maybe she's bi. I don't fucking know. Once I heal up, I'm gonna make him. Also, yeah, she's got a British accent, I guess. Mary raised her finger and brought it closer to Jane's face. Jane, I think it's time to talk, Mary said in a deadly serious tone. The only reason I supported you through all of this was that I thought you could handle it. But seeing you like this, knowing that you almost died because you wanted revenge, I think it's time for you to stop looking for him. Excuse me? Jane asked with her eyes widened. That's Jane. The whole reason Jane has superpowers is because Homeland Security, the FBI, the CIA, all those people couldn't stop Jeff. And that's why she's got healing powers, which are not on display in this story. You heard what I said, Mary affirmed. It will not end well if you go on like this. You have to stop. And let him get away with what he's done? Not a chance. Jane, just look at yourself. It's not healthy, she exclaimed. I understand why you're doing this, but it's not worth it to risk your life. What if you died tonight? Whose fault would that be? Mine, because I didn't stop you. No, Mary, not be your fault. Be Jeff's, because he would have fucking killed her. They are not on an even playing field. Jane has government backing, a healing factor which isn't on display in this story, access to guns and such, with weapons that cause immense pain to werewolves and vampires like Jeff. Yep, silver is Jeff's big weakness in this. I guess he's a werewolf or a vampire, because all of the weapons, they've got silver alloy. Fucking, I don't know where this is going. Anyhow, Jane's got all of that. Jeff has knife. Kitchen knife. Jane's gaze fell to the floor, silently absorbing Mary's words. She knew that Mary was great at hiding her tears. She tried to express how she felt about it, but the words wouldn't come. And with you gone, I wouldn't know what to do, Mary continued. Do you really want this? No, Jane said quickly, not fully sure of her answer. Then please, promise me you'll stop searching for him. There are many other creatures to investigate. Dude, you guys don't stand a chance. Jeff and Lou aren't even the most powerful creepypasta creatures. Don't tell me you guys think you can go up against, like, Slender Man. Dude, you guys are barely lasting against a 15-year-old burn victim and his psychologically scarred brother. You cannot handle that. You guys wouldn't be able to handle a skinwalker. Or... oh my god. Also, I like the fact that there's just a government agency hunting these people. Like fucking... that r/no sleep story. The thing in the basement is getting better at mimicking people. Then Mary, I... promise me, Jane. The two women sat in silence. Jane could tell that Mary was on the verge of tearing up. But if she wanted to stop seeing her like this, she had to answer. A part of her wanted to say no. She always said that she would never forgive herself if she let Jeff go unpunished. God damn it, if this story doesn't end with a climactic final battle and a clear-cut winner, Jane, then, I will riot. But the other part wanted to say yes for Mary's sake. Her gaze traced over from Mary's eyes to her own wounds. Finally, upon understanding what she had done to herself, she shouldn't have wounds, she let out a deep sigh of defeat. All right, I promise. But mark my words, if I get another chance to kill him, I won't hesitate to take it. You were in this situation because you wouldn't kill him when the time came? Oh my god, that's the fucking end. That's the end. That's the end of the story. Oh my fucking god. Alright. Yep, that is Jeff versus Jane? What the fuck? Oh my god. This story made my life worse. Jane, the killer, should have been able to kill him. Because why? Oh, nothing. Nothing. She just got a fucking healing factor and government backing. This is literally the most unbalanced fight I've ever heard of. Jane the Killer is Wolverine with government weapons and technology. Jeff the Killer is a burn victim with a kitchen knife. Who do you think would win that fight? God damn it! All right. Final thoughts? Don't go and harass M. Doros. This is just a bad creepypasta, like every other creepypasta written around this time. Oh, not one-on-one. Sorry. I forgot to read the author's note at the beginning. Note, this story is set in the continuity of Jeff the Killer, One by One by Dr. Bleed, and the Homicidal Lou rewrite by M. Doros. The same person who wrote this story, M. Doros. It never mentions a different Jane continuity, so we have to assume it is born of science. So where the hell did the healing factor go?